Coming up on this episode of the Spiro Podcast, find content that you can bring to your clients that will provide more value to them and deepen those relationships.
Welcome to the Spiro Podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. With your hosts, Todd and Craig Magrum.
Hi, and welcome to the Spiro Podcast, managing and scaling your real estate photography and videography business. Spiro is a software platform designed to help you really manage and grow your business and just be an asset to what it is that you do day in and day out. I'm Craig Magrum, host of the podcast, and with me, as always, our owner and founder and co-host of the podcast, Todd Kivimaki. Todd, it's been another interesting week and fun week.
It has been, it's been a great week. Oh my goodness. We've had so many conversations, done different things this week, solved some problems, won some clients. That's what we're talking about today. So I've got a couple of key things that stuck out in my mind. I had like 5 of them and I picked 2 that I want to share with you guys of what we're working on because I think it's relevant or should be relevant to all of you. So very excited about what happened. I'm really excited about the second idea. So you want to make sure that you stick around to hear the second idea because I am just over the moon about this idea.
It's awesome. Before we dig into that though, an update on PMRE. There's been some speakers that have been announced.
Yeah, Brandon has 7 speakers announced on there. So you can find out PMRE, for those of you that don't know, let me start there, is the conference for real estate media companies. And it's going on again this year. It's out in Vegas. It's in November. If you are looking for education, but also a way to connect with other people in the industry, PMRE is a great place to go. It's done incredibly well. It's a great list of speakers. Go check it out, pmreconference.com. If you do want to book and do want to go, remember, come find us. We will be there. I believe it's booth 10. Also, before you book, email me for a discount code. I have a code that will save you $50 off the booking price. And so just email me, hello@spiro.media.
It's a good time. It's definitely worth the investment in your education to help you grow and really get re-energized in what it is that you do as owner of a real estate photography and videography and media business. So, all right. Well, let's dive into it. We're gonna try and keep this one a little bit shorter this week, but some really good stuff that we want to discuss this week. Let's dive into the first part, and then we'll get into the meat of the second part, Todd. But we wanted to touch on broker deals again and just how important those things are. And I had a great experience just in the last week or two related to a broker deal. But I'll let you kick things off here.
Yeah, this was just on our outline. I just wanted to mention it because if you're not thinking about broker deals, please go back in some podcasts and listen to those or email me. I had an incredible conversation. I was onboarding an individual yesterday and we just got into broker deals and he has a great opportunity coming up. It was about a week time from now. And just remember, brokers speak a different language. If you want to sign a broker deal, then you need to speak their language. I'm telling you this from experience. This works. Like literally, I showed him the invoice that we invoiced one of our largest brokers. It was like $36,000 or $37,000 last month. So we sent it. That's a $37,000 invoice we sent in just for June of 23. So these things will change your business. And that's a 10-year relationship I have. So just incredible. You have to know what the broker wants. And of course, you have to work hard and take care of them. That's no different than any client. But it's just a win-win. If you don't speak broker, that's a thing now, Craig. I just made it up. If you don't speak broker, then you need to. Remember, brokers grow in 2 ways. They grow by their agents getting more listings. Mm-hmm. Or they grow by getting and recruiting more agents. So anyways, you need to know what the sell points are to a broker. You need to know what questions to ask a broker and how they're going to respond. I think we covered all of it in a few podcasts. This is something I'm passionate about. But Craig, what about your story? Because this is an example that just happened.
Yeah. So we just started a broker program with a relatively large real estate company that's here in Ohio and elsewhere. But I had an office out in, I would call it a rural community that is part of this brokerage that reached out to me to find out if I could come in and present. And asked if we served a couple of different markets that is in their their circumference, and I said, well, the one city is kind of in between two of our markets, and you would definitely have some travel fees for that one, and that one might be a little bit harder. But this other market, yes, we can serve. There might be some travel fees, for the shorter distances. And that would add to your cost. I'm just going to be upfront with you. I believe in transparency and being honest with people. And this manager, she said, great, I understand those fees, no problem. I still want you to come out and present, because they are really she's looking for a partner for her realtors in their office to really help build their brand and take the next step up in their marketing. They have a few agents in that office that are using another company right now, but they're looking for better service and somebody that's really going to be committed to being a partner with them. And so I had the opportunity to present. It was the day after the 4th of July. It was July 5th. So I knew it was going to be probably a small turnout. It always is after a holiday. And I think we had 5 or 6 realtors. But I like small groups. I feel like I could connect better in smaller groups. And we had some great conversation, talked about marketing ideas, the importance of video. We talked about, vertical video and social media algorithms, things like that. And they got energized and they started talking, and it was a great conversation. One person, she said, I'm going to use you on my next listing, and gave me her card, and everybody starts laughing. I'm like, well, why is everybody laughing for you giving me my card? Well, evidently they had like a business bingo competition going on. And one of the things that they got to mark off a square is you give your business card to somebody. So she got to mark off on her bingo card, and she gave me her card. I said, hey, let's take a selfie, and I'll see. And so we did that, and they posted on their social media. We posted on ours. And I just did my first shoot for her yesterday, and, talked about video. Upsold her on one of our aerial packages because it was on water and she hadn't done that. I said, let me comp this for you, and I want you to see the impact that's going to have on your video and thus your marketing, and really make you look really good to your sellers so that you get more referrals. And her face lit up. She's like, you would do that? I said, for this one, yes. Share it with your entire office. I absolutely will. And I had her watch as I flew the drone and got the pictures and video. I'm like, what do you think about this shot? And her eyes just got really big. She's like, oh, that's awesome. So showing them the value of what it is that you can do for them. It all started with this brokerage program that the manager invited us in, and now we're going to get some raving fans. And I love connecting and seeing people get excited and help them grow their business. And I just want to encourage you as an owner of a company, find the passion and the love for what it is that you do again. And these broker programs are a great way to do it.
Craig, I just love that, to relive the timeline of that relationship. Just all of you out there listening, please don't underestimate the importance of any one relationship. I mean, Craig was basically used for checking off a bingo spot by getting a card from an agent. Okay. So maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, Craig, but so a card in the office, how many times have you gotten a card from an agent, and what has it meant? Like it turned into a shoot, turned into her upgrading the video to drone, to her looking at the drone footage while he's taking it. Include your agents in these things, because you know what they're going to do? They're going to go back and they're going to sell that to the next potential listing to the listing family, the people that are listing their home. So they need this information. You possess technology information in your brain, social media information in your brain, marketing information in your brain. You need to give it to them, because they're going to go back and say, when they're at a potential seller, and say, you know what? this would be fabulous to fly the drone. What he's going to do is he's going to go up and you can actually see it on this screen and looking around, and he can pan and tilt the lens, and we can see how the pond is in relation to the field behind and to the house, the back deck. They're going to paint this picture. So please don't underestimate those conversations. Mm-hmm. Also, then you create raving fans who are in the office and are saying, hey, look what Craig just did for me. And, insert your name in place of Craig. And that is huge in our industry. If you can get another agent that is showing your work, that is praising your work and service, those agents that hear it will use you.
Exactly. And she is going to be a raving fan, and not just, it's not because of me, it's because of our team and the dedication that we have to serve our clients well, our number one core value. So, and it all started with a brokerage deal. So, all right.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Cool. All right. Well, let's dive in here. So a question I have for all you is, how is business? We're halfway through the year. A little over halfway through the year. So we're 15 days through the 7th month. So you might have numbers and know what the first 6 months look like. So how's business? This is a question I scan social media, and this is a question I see a lot on the groups that y'all are on and that we're all in. And quite honestly, I get reading those responses, you get a little bit of everything. People, I'm up, I'm down, I'm indifferent, I'm quitting, I'm expanding. So I just, how is 2023 going? I want you to be careful about scanning social media. This is where some of my age comes in, and I'm earning my gray hairs here. But most everyone on social media is going to say that business is going great. Hey, I'm up 300%. I'm up 25 shoots this month. I've hired 300 people, whatever it may be. And that's great for those people. But I just want you to be careful that I don't want you to gauge your business and the progress of your business and then your joy based on those comments. So I just was reading into those things, and I just was like, I'm super happy. If you are up right now, that is great. And if you're happy with 23, that congrats. Your hard work is paying off. But I'll be completely honest that 23 is a tough year in the real estate industry. Okay, so just did you all read the article that came out there the other day? Matterport, they're laying off a third of their staff. I think it's like 171 people. Okay, so Matterport, you think, okay, a very large funded company, acquired quite a few companies a year ago. Still has not made a profit. They're laying off a third of their people. Okay, so that's a pretty good indicator. Did you guys read the Realtor.com report about May? Listings from May of 23 versus May of 22 are down 22.5%, something like that, over 20%. And then from 19 to 22, they're down like 40 some odd percent. So listings are down. Listings are where we make our money. When an agent gets a listing, they hopefully call you. Agents, correct me if I'm wrong, Craig here, but I was talking to Steve the other day. Steve's our director of sales and marketing, y'all out there that don't know Steve. He's been on a couple of these podcasts, but I think in the last 6 months, like 60,000 agents across the U.S. have dropped out of the industry.
I believe it.
So,
It's tough.
It is. So if you are out there and you're the person that's like, oh, wait a minute, I don't really feel comfortable posting, like I'm down. It's okay. Let's just assess where you're at, and let's talk about here for 10 minutes, like how you're going to measure up or down. Because what does up or down mean? Does up or down mean you're up or down on the number of jobs? Okay, that's one way you could do it. Are you up and down based on revenue? Okay, so you could actually do more revenue with less jobs. So if you increase your ASP, your average sale price, you can do less jobs but make more revenue. Revenue's top line. So that's all of the number of jobs times your average sale price. You add up what every job total costs. That's your top line revenue. Well, is it more important that we look at profit? Are you up and down based on profit? Maybe you're up a ton in jobs and revenue, but you hired 10 people. Okay, well, can you sustain those people? What does the profit look like? That profit is how much money the business makes after you pay everyone. And then remember, we should have a goal that if you're operating a business, that the business pays you as well. Like, this just isn't like the profit left over is the money you make. Now, if you're doing that right now, no problem. I did that for a lot of years before I actually became an employee of the business. But profit from a book definition is after you pay everyone. So anyways, we won't go into any more accounting, but profit is how much do you make after everything's paid for? Is that what you're basing numbers on? Or are you basing numbers on market share? Okay, market share. What's market share? So market share is looking at all of the potential in your market. So the potential is the number of listings for all of us. So how many listings were there last month? And how many of them did you shoot? So if there was 1,000 listings last month and you shot 100 of them, just easy, simple math, you have a 10% market share. Well, are you up or down in market share from this year versus last year? So just some very interesting things to look at, and they all play together in a little bit different way, and they're all important to you for different reasons. So those are some things to track. I would argue, and Craig, we'll hear your opinion. I would argue that you look at market share. Now, market share doesn't mean that you're actually making more money or you're able to pay your bills, but market share, what it means is that if you're growing in market share, when the market comes back, when those listings come back, you're going to be sailing pretty good. So that's what we look at WOW, is we look at market share. And of course, we have to look at all those other things too. We look at number of jobs, we look at average sale price, we look at the revenue, and then we look at the profit. We look at all those. But we're in this for the long run. And I hope you all are too. And being in it for the long run, we just can't be concerned with what this half a year looks like, or this quarter, or this week looks like. We need to think of it from a long-term perspective. So right. I would argue that if you don't know what your market share is, you begin calculating those numbers, and you can get this data. Your local MLS probably puts out the number of listings they had, for any month in the year. Now, typically MLS is pending their size and how quick they are. They're a month or two behind. So being in July, you might just get May numbers right now, but that's okay. Go back to May, look at how many shoots you did, and divide the two numbers between each other.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you 100%, Todd. And that's something I'm trying to focus on in the market that I serve up here in Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan is, it goes back to that old adage of, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So I'm back when I had my own company, I like 60 to 65% of my business was one brokerage. And I didn't do a ton with the rest of the brokerages in this market. We're totally looking at that differently now. Now that I'm part of WOW, we're diversifying a lot more and getting into more brokerages and trying to strengthen the brokerages that are there. And, we talked about the fact that listing inventory is down, 22% year over year compared to last year. Well, then our job is as a marketing company, really that's what we are. Yes, we do photos and video, but we're helping realtors with their marketing. Is the realtors that are sticking around, those, the ones that have not gotten onto the market, we want to strengthen them to increase their market share of the fewer listings that are out there. So we're acting as consultants. We're going to help them as much as we can to stick it out, to grow their business, even amidst the challenge of the market. And that's where I think you can get your energy is, okay, how many different agents can I help stick out this career that they've chosen and not throw in the towel? We want to see you succeed. So if you can bring that kind of energy to an office presentation, hey, we want to help you succeed. We know it's tough out there. We all know what the numbers are. Our job is to help you grow and to stick this out and thrive even in a non-thriving type of situation. So I'm with you, and that's the energy I'm trying to take to every presentation I give.
Yeah. And that's great. And I love that challenge of trying to help them stick it out and giving them tools. Again, back to the reason why Craig said, "Hey, I'm going to do the drone with you I'm going to do the drone for you on this one." And then, made sure that the agent got to experience what it is to actually take the drone footage, because it's a cool thing. It's a cool thing that you can see. We take it all for granted. I remember the days when I built my own drone, and it flew, and you had these LiPo batteries and things were Velcroed to everything else. And you had a transmitter that sent the signal down, and there was like 25 pieces all put together. And this thing was humongous. So yeah. We take for granted that you can put a little drone the size of a half sheet of paper up in the air, and it can do all this fabulous, send the video back. It can geocode, it can run a path, a course, whatever it is. But our agents don't know that. So anyways, long story short, you share that experience with them, and then you give them a tool, and then you all grow together.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. This agent, she's older than I am, and shared with me that she worked in marketing for a long time and for some rather large companies. So she has a marketing and a sales mindset, and she said, when I was younger in my career, I would have never dreamed of technology like this that we have access to for our sellers now. I said, yeah, it's pretty fantastic. You can get some really good looking footage, high end production for really relatively low cost. And, those that actually invest in it, and she was selling herself. She said, I really feel like any realtor worth their salt should be doing professional photos and using video like this. And I really believe that it helps them get higher cost or a higher price on their listings as well. I mean, if they declutter their house and prep it, and we give them really good photos and video, I'm convinced that they're getting higher prices for that. So, I mean, I didn't even have to do a lot of talking, Todd. She was selling herself. And we've talked, I think it was last week, we talked on the podcast, you can't sell a salesperson. So I just kind of shut up and I let her sell herself, but I believe in what we're doing. So it's easy for me to talk about it and be excited about it.
Yeah. Good stuff. So if you're out there, if 23 hasn't been as great of a year, if you're trying to get clients, just simplify, just take a breath. You're going to be okay. Let's focus on a few things. Give yourself a little grace. The market is down, and then just strategically build. Where are you going to start? You can only control what you can do. So, right. If you are the ones out there that didn't want to post like, hey, I'm down, or this is really tough right now. I feel for you. I'm thinking of you all. Just know that there is a way to do it out there. There is hope. You're in a very difficult market. And if you're passionate about this, you can make it. So just keep trying, find some techniques, build relationships, and in the long run, you're going to be okay.
Find content that you can bring to your clients that will provide more value to them and deepen those relationships. Todd, you and Chris and Nick just went out to Fort Wayne exactly to do that, to do some special content. Can you talk real quick about that before we close things up?
Yes, I can. So this is the number 2. So if this was the thing that I said that I'm the most excited about. So if you've just fast forwarded to this point, like you landed in the right location, like this is the thing that like, I honestly was not going to tell you all today because I wanted to keep it just for myself. And I'm not kidding. Like I can be kind of a closed loop person. And I was like, oh, do I want to tell them? Because I love this idea, but I'm going to tell you because if I didn't, then, I won't be really sticking to our values here at the podcast because I'm here to help. I'm here to give, and I want to serve you all. So yes. Okay. So myself, Chris, who is one of our business development specialists, and then Nick Kellis, who's we'll go into who Nick Kellis is, but look him up on IMDb. He's been a Hollywood producer for the last 30 years, shot a couple movies. A guy that I know personally, really great guy. We use him to produce some of our content. And anyways, we went to a local city and we set up a content shoot day. So the first thing, is everyone out there understands, so everyone being your agents, that they need to produce content. Content is not easy to produce if you don't know how to do it. One, how to record it, how to look good, sound good, how to edit it. Those are just technicals. But the biggest thing is, what the heck do I talk about? What am I going to say? Okay, so I'm okay. I got my phone. It's in front of me. I'm okay doing this thing. Now, what do I say? And I can't stop looking at myself in my phone screen because my hair's out of place. So this is a huge gap in the market. And I am telling you that I think you can grow your business exponentially with this technique. Okay, so I'll tell you the story first, and then we'll talk about a few nuts and bolts. So basically, we had a content day set up with a local brokerage, and we had planned out that the broker wanted to create some videos about the brokerage, about their philosophies, recruiting. Again, remember, you all think I lie to you about what brokers think about. Speaking broker, one of the videos they wanted to do was about recruiting. The other one was about tools and marketing. That's what they think about. Those two things. Okay, I'm off my high horse. So the broker wanted to create those videos. And also the broker wanted to help her real estate agents create content so that they would have videos to use on their website, on social media, that would connect with potential buyers and sellers. Okay, so that's the $100,000 question, is how do we do this? So what we do is a couple of years ago piloted an event. We called it the Brand Blast. And it was basically where we would help and educate clients, realtors, on how to create content on their own. So my big spiel with creating content, and you can steal this because I didn't come up with it. This was a Marcus Sheridan book. It's called They Ask You Answer. If you haven't read it or listened to it, I would look him up. He is fabulous. It's a great book. It's a little bit of an older book, but it's very, very relevant.
Say that author name again and book title.
Yes, Marcus Sheridan. Marcus Sheridan, They Ask You Answer. So this is the thing. Keep that in the back of your head. And this is what I tell realtors, if you're ever asked a question, that person who asked you the question is not the only person that has that question. Most people won't ask a question. They'll look for an answer, but they won't ask a question. The people that are out there answering these questions are the people that the individuals who don't want to ask will find. Okay. So just a quick little story back note on this. Many years ago, I got 2 speeding tickets in the course of like 2 days. Okay. We won't go into that, but I got 2 speeding tickets in the course of 2 days. And after the second one, I was like, oh man, how am I going to get out of this speeding ticket? Like what happened here? So I Google search like how to get out of a speeding ticket. And, I'm going down Google. Well, there was an attorney that actually answered my question. And this was like 10 years ago. Like he had this whole library of every question he was almost asked. And he popped right up on Google because there's a lot of people that get a speeding ticket and they're like, oh crap, I really don't want to get a speeding ticket. Like that's not too good, and yet alone 2 in 2 days. So he was a source of knowledge for me. You need to be that source of knowledge. Your agents need to be that source of knowledge. So what we did at this event, sorry, I'm ping-ponging y'all out here because I'm just super excited about this, but I wanted to lay a little backstory. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to help your agents come to a setting and you're going to set up your equipment, have a nice studio setup, and you will help them answer common questions that they get. And we did this in one of our local cities. And I can't tell you just the response we got from it. So first, Chris, who's our salesperson, has been trying to connect with some of these agents. And he'll tell you that they were polite to him. They were super nice, but they just would brush him off. And there was just no way to connect with them. Well, these agents are coming in to shoot content with us. And so the first thing is when that's kind of a scary situation. shooting content. We've got the lights up, we've got the sound, we've got 2 cameras set up. It's a pretty big production setup. So it's a little intimidating walking into this setup. And they've come in with the questions that they want to answer. And a lot of them write down their responses. And we won't go into how you produce a video and hold an interview in this one, but that's what we would help them do. That's what Nick would do, and he's fabulous at it. But basically, so we're putting the agent in a vulnerable situation, and then we're helping them get great content out there, making them feel good about creating these videos. You know what started to happen? We built this relationship with them. And literally there were agents that walked in that told Chris no and just wouldn't respond to him. That literally, and I was there in the room, I saw it. He pulled up a listing on his phone. He said, "What do you think about these photos?" And we looked at them, and they were kind of dark and they weren't very vibrant. And we felt very confidently that our product would be better. And Chris is like, "Yeah, I think, we noticed they were using flash and just a single flash, not blending well. Like, hey, we think HDR would be great for this, and this is how it's going to work." And he's like, "Okay, well, I'm going to have you guys reshoot it." I kid you not, this is an agent that we're literally trying to get a hold of that's just like, no, that is unhappy with his current provider. He even told us that while he's standing there. He's like, "Yeah, I really haven't been happy with this individual for quite a while." Chris is like, "Who are you using?" And he knew a little bit of information about that individual. And it's like, boom, it was done. And so I am very excited about this idea of having content shoots and helping your realtors create content, because it's where you're going to build rapport. You're going to help them through it. And you're just going to get them on your side, and you're going to help them solve problems and help them grow in the marketplace.
It's an awesome idea. My wheels are already turning. There's a brokerage up here that I know we need to do this for. And it leads to new conversations, new relationships, and just sparks that creative spirit that we each have being in this business, but then also grows your business. So, you get the best of both worlds. And what a great idea, Todd.
Yeah. And even speaking of brokers, so that's the thing I didn't even tell you is that the broker's daughter was there with us the whole day. She created quite a few videos. She's the operations manager, but she was there kind of as the liaison because her agents were coming in. And then the broker came a few hours later, and she just didn't shoot her portion. She stayed the whole rest of the day. So if you think about how hard it is to get in front of a broker owner or the broker's owner's like operations manager, that's difficult. We spent the entire day in a model home with them. So it's like, and it was just like towards the end of the day, even the broker was like, this has been fabulous. Like, we want to help you guys grow. We think more people should be using you in this city. And Chris is like, "Oh, it'd be great to, shoot for more of your agents." And she stopped him. She's like, "No," she's like, "Not just my agents. That'll happen. All the agents in Fort Wayne." She's like, "I know all of the agents in Fort Wayne. And I think they need to be using you." And so it was just incredible, the connection you can build. And again, you have to be like, I'm not wanting to tell you that this is easy, because it takes being on top of your game. There's a lot that goes into shooting that production. I mean, I had a Hollywood producer doing it there. So you have to make sure that you can help them and make them feel comfortable, and you can produce good content. But when you can do that, this mechanism to build relationships with an individual and help them in a way, and also, like Craig mentioned, it helps you be creative. If you're like, "Hey, I like shooting houses, but I just want to push the envelope a little bit more," this could be it. So I'm really excited about this one. I know this is just like a brain dump idea to all of you out there, but I wanted to get you guys thinking about it, because we've been thinking about it here at the office. And I've got a rule that if we're thinking about it, I want you guys to be thinking about it, because typically it's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah. It's going to strengthen your business and create more value in the mind of your clients when you do things like this for them.
Yeah, it's just an incredible way to build those relationships, Craig. So if you want to find out more about brokerages, we don't have another video about this content. If you just want to pick my brain, email me, hello@spiro.media. If you want to find out more about brokerages, go back a few podcasts, or again, I'd love to talk to you about it. If you want to find out more about the software, so the software was built to manage those brokerage relationships. So it has company pay, it has agent pay, it has everything that you need and that a broker needs from a structural standpoint for you to pull off a brokerage deal. You can visit Spiro.media, look at all the demos on there, book a time with me or sign up. It's free to get started. There's no cost. You just pay when you book a shoot, or you just pay when you fulfill a shoot. So check it out, Spiro.media. Would love to help you any way we can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, Todd, that's going to wrap things up for this week. Some good things to think about in a challenging 2023, but man, stay the course. Don't lose hope. It might be challenging right now, but if you have a passion for people and seeing them succeed, let that be your driver. That's what we want to encourage you with this week. So, all right. Well, if you have any comments you want to share and be a part of this discussion, we love hearing from you. So feel free to drop a comment on the YouTube channel if you're watching here on YouTube, or if you want to send us a comment, we could share that in a future episode. If you're listening to the podcast, just email us hello@spiro.media. And as always, if you have a topic idea, something business related that you have a question on or want to see addressed, we would love to cover that. We're always looking for what's going to bring value to you. Again, email us hello@spiro.media. So that's going to wrap things up this week. We try to keep it a little bit shorter this week. We know, things hopefully are busy for you, but just thank you for the time that you take to be a part of this podcast community. And we love your feedback, your thoughts, your ideas. And so keep those coming. Enjoy the blessings that you've been given. Take a breath. Maybe, just take a breath. We all have to do that from time to time, and have a great week. Take care.
Thank you for joining us for the Spiro Podcast, Managing Your Real Estate Photography and Videography Business. This is a production of Spiro and Wow Video Tours. You can find out more about Spiro's real estate media business management software at our website, spiro.media.